Are we live? Am I plugged in? Can you hear me? Are we 4x4? Hey, it's Friday night. And here we are. We're all together. Again, for all of this mutual craziness. I love it. Fantastic. Welcome to the Friday Night Live. Thank you all that were over at the premiere for the beach hunt. That was a blast. Melissa's in the house. Boot is in the house, the spicy ghost. Blind Squirrel Rocks is here. Good to see you. Of course, the Sand Maker is here and just out of the sandstorm. And Chris, the Roof Fortress, the Rooted Rockhound, is here. Bob, welcome in. Good to see you. Brian is here. John, of course, is here. Maybe he was lurking, but he is here in full effect at this point in time. Resort Dog, thank you for coming. Welcome in. And Melissa, did I already say? Double down if I did. Melissa's in the house. Twister is here. And boy, she's on the road. So thanks for tuning in. Ken is, of course, here. 5x5. Hacha. Says Ken, thank you. She is plugged in and electric this evening. I gotta say, Lisa is here. She's raising her hand. Cody's in the house. Good to see you. Of course, Rocky is here. What a blast over at the premiere. You guys are awesome. And Kyle's here. He's saying it's a party. Yeah. And Brian, I don't know. I'm probably like now repeating everybody. Sean's here, of course. Allison is here. Cynthia, fantastic. Cynthia is here. And I'm sure enjoying all of her in the micro zone as well. All right. Thank you so much. Did I say Sean? And Diane? Diane is here. I'm going to start circling. And I appreciate you all. You all are fantastic. And I have to thank Josh Journeys over there, the Tomcat Josh, throwing down the killer super during the premiere. I really, really appreciate that. You guys are all fantastic. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, there was a new beach video that was premiered just before we went live. And I'll put the link in the description. This is the companion live. So you get to watch the video, and if you didn't already, it's okay. Don't worry. We're going to catch you up on the goods, but we've got some of the goodies right here. And what we just found on the beach, we get to check out. And I know just right from the get-go, a bunch of you were like, "Oh my gosh, how many bones can you find on the beach?" Some days, 0. That's the beach. And that was kind of the point of the video. It was a bit of a tutorial because a lot of people have been asking me, especially like, "Oh, which beach do we go to? How do we find the fossils or the agates or the jaspers?" I'll go a little bit more into that, but I think that the biggest piece of advice that I got to say is keep that beginner mind as far as which beach, because some of them do have like better odds of giving you some nice fossils or some nice agates. Like the blue black agates are famous for the Central Oregon coast, but at the same time, you can't get fixated on one beach. You got to play the field. You got to see where those gravels are showing, and so it goes over that in the video, and then we'll kind of expound upon that. But that's probably my whoa, Tomcat Josh. Whoa, I'm seeing yellow. Thank you so much. So I got to put this up here. And I really, really appreciate you and your generosity. It's so going to all of the things that make the channel happen. Like this platform ain't cheap. And then also there's like the thing that makes all of those graphics, like the little slideshow that you guys see ahead of time. I do that in Adobe, and that's not cheap either. And so what you guys are doing is just Josh, you're supporting the channel in a way that just keeps us rolling in all the juicy goods, visually rich and wonder. Whoa! And here's another one. Thank you, Josh. I really appreciate it. And Bob's Rocks right up here too, starting the production fund. Thank you. And so not only does this keep the monthly platforms going, because those are all subscriptions, to have the platform for being able to live stream with the StreamYard, and it's like the spendier option subscription, and then also like the Adobe, of course, but then there's epidemic sounds so that we can listen to like cool tunes while we're opening up, and while I'm fossil prepping a fish, it was kind of nice to have some of the background tunes. And I think that Jenny, I always review the live streams after we're done, and so I really appreciate you guys when you have um some comments that I might lose track of in the stream, like is going on right now, of chat, that I think it was Jenny that said, "Hey, the music might be a little bit on the volumey side," and so I can curtail that when we have ambient music in the future. So definitely lend me your ideas, either in the chat or in the comments. I try to read everything, and review, so that we can always be improving upon these lives, and just make it a fun hangout, and a cool show, and a fun party, and all that kind of stuff. um and let's see, Resort Dog looks like he's here doing some suggesting for people. My advice is the Franciscan formation consists of a lot of beaches and river bars also. And so yeah, we are gravid up and down at least the Oregon coast, and I know that the California coast. See, rules are different though, depending on what coast you're on and where you're hunting. You need to know what the rules are for, like, can I take this bone even? Or, is it protected, or what am I allowed to take? And so there, please check your rules and regulations, so that it stays the way that it is now for everyone, and we're not abusing it, so that, they put the kibosh on all of it, say, and that sort of thing. And yeah, everybody is just saying how generous everyone else is, and I so agree. You guys are just like the best community in the whole wide world, and we do this for you for sure. Somebody, I think it was John, was asking me a bit ago, also in the comments someplace else, about subsidizing the Rockhound podcast, and that is the most, like, awesome thought to have, and yet that's completely non-monetized. And I think somebody else piped in and was like, I didn't know that. Yeah, we don't monetize it. It's completely an effort of love from us. And so if you want to help the Rockhound podcast in any way, you can go ahead and pitch something to Kurt. You can pitch something to Theo, or, my way, because each one of us has duties, like, within the podcast, that we do without making it a job. If we monetized it, then we'd have to, like, either nonprofit organization it or do taxes on it, and then it becomes like a weird thing. Whereas we just all want to do it just for you guys. And so, like I said, we all, like, pitch in and we share the workload. And in that regard, like, it's kind of same. If you pitch it one of those directions, then it goes to the Rockhound podcast, because we basically do this just because we love it. um, it looks like we're talking about OBS and some of the different platforms. That one's like so snarly that as soon as I think it was Rocky Mountain Bear that was recommending the StreamYard platform. Love it. So, for different folks that have different technical abilities, and say different abilities as far as their hardware goes, some of these are great answers. Check them out. You talk to people who know, or maybe all about it. And I love that everybody's kind of sharing their knowledge in the chat. That is definitely what we're all gathered together for. I love the group think. I love how everybody kind of uh, pitches their knowledge together, and we all get smarter and faster, stronger with all that going on. And so let's see. I'm just you guys are just running around in the chat, and I love that. I'll try to keep, one eye on it so that I don't miss the important things you guys are talking about, the different technologies. Most of the folks that are hanging out are, have channels, and so this is definitely uh definitely a good place to kind of toss around the ideas and catch up with the good stuff. And so let's see. I wanted to we're gonna crack one of the pectins, and we'll do that right quick so that we get into some of the really fun stuff. Now, I found two pectins on the beach that you guys saw in the video, and this I was like, oh my gosh, this is a big pectin. That might be the biggest one that I've found that I got to crack open. I have one that's bigger than this that was already perfectly cracked open on the beach and just sitting there, but it's only one half. And then, later on in the video, I found this guy. And so you can see this one's kind of on the tall side and nice looking and everything. But this, wow, I mean, that's in relative size fairly much bigger. And so we'll open this one. And if I have any challenges, I might actually have to do this one off camera because it would make me nervous to break such a great specimen and have a bad break on it just because I'm trying to do it quickly for the live or whatever. We'll see. If this one breaks really easy, then I might be tempted to just go ahead and fly into that big guy too, because they are addicting to break open. And you can see there's a pretty decent break in this one already. So we'll see how this one cracks. It might crack in a weird way. And in addition to that, that was like the really exciting part. We've got some other things in here, like this that I felt like on the video. It really kind of felt crabby to me. I was probably alluding to it in the video. I wasn't trying to be too specific because for the video, that's got to have legs. Like it has to be long lasting. So I'm usually just about queries and videos, and then we can say a little bit more in the live streams because we'll do some stuff. But you can see that I actually did some digging into this fossil. I have an engraver. I do not have an air scribe yet. That's actually coming very soon. But I thought, the engraver that I was using for the Kemmerer fossils, that takes the overburden away very nicely. And I think I showed it to you guys on the last live stream. Like that's what I was using. I didn't use it on the live stream because it's wicked loud. And so you guys did not want to hear that. But it's a great tool. So if you have like a cheap engraver, like a Dremel engraver, or, I think mine was something like Western engraver, uh, great for the Kemmerer. Like if you're taking a lot of the overburden off before you get to the actual fossil. And then once you get to the fossil, you definitely need to slow down and use something that's gonna terrorize the fossil less. Whack, 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 big old pancake. Yeah, you guys. It's so great how the pectins show up on the beach. Like it's hard to miss them because they're these frisbees, these great big pancakes that are made out of concretion. Oh, Allison. Nice comment. Um, and so I did try to get in a bit. You can kind of see the topography going on. We'll look at this a little bit closer under the microscope. I feel like I came to a bit of a conclusion on this guy, and we'll look and see if I'm right. But interesting. And I will tell you that the low grade engraver does not work on our matrix material very well at all. And it's gonna be air scribe because that little bit of indentation that you guys saw easily took me a whole afternoon to do. I mean, I don't know if it was the best use of my time, but I couldn't help myself. You guys all know it's like you gotta play with your rocks. And Jeff says he's back. Good to see you. And so we've got that to play with. We got a few of the other ones to look at. Y'all were wondering if I picked up this here piece of the Torito wood, the Cheeto wood, the Kit Kats and Rolos. And so there it is. And it seems like it's got some kind of neat silicification going on in a few of the pockets, but it just was good looking. So I couldn't help myself. We might have to take a look at that. And then Ken's back. You didn't miss much, pretty much just prefacing what we're going to get going for tonight. And I actually have something that I really wanted you to see, Ken, of course, everybody else. But there is a point in the video that I am looking at. I said something about the fact that I hardly ever pick up the reds because when I first got to the beaches here, I was just picking up the reds all the time, and I was so excited about them, because they're easy to see, like in that sea of basalt and other earth tones, like the reds really pop, especially if it's overcast and stuff. And so you end up with a bunch of the red material, like right from the get-go. And they this one, I picked it up because it seemed like it had some interesting other stuff going on, and I was right. And so maybe we'll just start off with this guy, and then we'll move on to yeah, we going to play with the wood and the wood, the wood, the weird wood and the bones. But first, let's check out this. Oh, I could take this down. Whoop. We're gonna play with this little Jasper really quick because it has something special going on. And you guys know that I oftentimes have trouble appreciating Jasper enough. It's kind of stop hating Jasper, stop not liking Jasper. Wow, I just dropped and caught that with my left hand. I'm kind of self-impressed at the moment. My gosh, drama already. And John has a long comment there about, I think, also the woes of the technology with the OBS and all that kind of stuff. Um, and I guess Rocky Mountain Bear is patting himself on the back for not making that kind of joke through the whole premiere. And of course, Allison is just going off, and that's what we're here for. We're here for, it's Friday. Blow off your steam, people. Yes, that was Elmer Fudd mode, by the way. Karen sounded Swedish when she said, "Well, I am Scandinavian. My dad's parents are from the old country, one from Sweden and one from Norway, Norwegia. What would So yeah." On the other side, I got a bunch of Scotland. And so, my gosh, Jasper matters. Yeah, right? Thank you, Maddie. So true. And Jaspers are sand makers' friends. And it's the big summer blowout. Is it summer yet? Can it be please summer? Kyle, that would be great. And bootlegs Jaspers. And you and Kyle are in the same Jasper boat, or not in the Jasper boat, I guess. Yeah, I mean the society of underappreciating Jasper and silly walks. Apparently, I'm so sorry. Just not my bag, but they should be. I mean, there's nothing wrong with with the beautiful Jaspers. But this one, I no nudge nudge wink, wink, is really quite pretty. So I'm gonna do this and hope that, okay, that gets us a little bit closer. And I'm not sure that the fidelity is exactly what I want. When my camera's in this mode, it won't zoom, but let's get it wet. And what's really nice, oh look, it's like the guillotine for the pecten, the hammer and the railroad. So those are like the doom instruments for the pecten. For whom the bell tolls. Yeah, it's not going to get quite close enough to where I would show off the reason why I was like, this piece of red. I mean, that's pretty cool on that side, actually. That's not bad. And so you go, yeah, yeah, that's kind of a cool jasper. Why wouldn't you love this jasper? And it's got some interesting colors on that side. But if you could see it better, which we will in a second, I'll put it underneath the microscope. You would see that it looks like somebody poured glitter in it because it's got a ton of marcasite in it. And that does happen with our beach jaspers, but not to this degree and not often enough in my book at all. So so this is like cause for celebrations. And I see that we've got plenty of that over there in the in the chat still. Yeah, yeah, yeah. From Sweden. Yeah, yeah, sure, you betcha. Cheers. Cheers to everyone. While we look at the blank slate that needs to be where the microscope goes here really quick. Haha, John. Tonight's first Monty Python reference. Indeed. And I hate to admit this to you all, but I'm sure that we're just getting started. Okay, so you are seeing this live and in real time. We'll watch on one camera while I load this, and then oh, I think I wanted it that way. Yeah, see how that looks perfect. And then we're gonna swing the microscope over here. I feel like I've got like a cockpit or something. Like, got all of my tools set up in a funky way. And so yeah, that's kind of interesting. We get to, okay, there's the setup, and we are about to look at it through the microscope. I can't tell if it's anywhere near in view yet. Oh, there it is. Okay, let's switch. Let's put that bad boy on there. Oh, look at that. We can look at all of them at the same time. It's like so much fun with this platform. Why would you ever want to use a different one? No offense to other people's platforms, of course. Non-affiliated, not okay. Here we go. Here's our rock. And that's very up close and personal. So let's go ahead and zoom out. Want a brick cleaver next. Oh, yeah, it sounds nice. If not a little random, need to need to catch up. And so there's our little rock in the vase. And I know that we all have rock vices, maybe not this kind, but vices that entail rock, maybe spending too much money on it or whatever. Tee hee ha ha. Okay, so now you're starting to see the sparkles, hopefully. I mean, some of it is just the lighting, but you can see the gold little flecks in there. And let's go ahead and let's get closer. And we shall, let's see, adjust some of this lighting. Take that up a notch. And then get some, what just happened there? Come on now. And then focus. And you can see those are all those glittery bits are marcasite crazy. All right, Cheryl is in the house. Good to see you. There's chat magic going on. Very, very cool. Um, wow, platform souls. What is going on? Lurking and twerking. That's great. Tools are bouncing. Yeah. um, Hourglass in its belly. Oh, that sounds like a dice spinner with hourglasses on bellies. Yeah, Marcusite, beautiful. I love Marcusite. Marcusite happens in Graveyard Point, plume agate, and I think that it turns a jasper into something I'm super excited about. So when this jasper gets polished, and if you went to move it around, I mean, it looks literally like somebody dumped a bunch of glitter into it. I You gotta love nature for doing a glitter bomb, natural. Like there's some products out there that are not entirely natural, and then you've got ones that do this, and wow, um, better than what those folks make out of glass and that sort of thing, if you ask me. And let's see, more twerking. Uh, and blame is going around about it. Oh my goodness. And this is interesting. The Resort Dog brings up the jelly bean jasper, and I saw some of that going through the community a little bit earlier this week. It seemed like, and apparently it's in Oregon, and I think I need to go get some. That sounds so nice. And okay, this deserves this. This needs to go up. Um, nope, not that one. It moved too fast. It's running away. If I tried twerking, there's a good chance I'd slip my disco. Oh, I love it. Man, glitter is sawdust. um, and so yeah. Anyways, this is a special one, and I still haven't the uh the tumbler that I have is a Lortone, and I feel like I need to get that going, and yet, Lortone just went out of biz, and so uh the engine needs working on, and I'm motor engine fired up. I'm wondering if I'm going to be able to get it running at this point. I really should have done it when I first got it, but oh man, you guys all know that the tool woes, like it always needs to be this tool. Like the next tool for the studio is man, there's just always a long list, and it can be sad that you can't just acquire everything all at the same time. And so I might have to just send this to Ken so that he can make it beautiful. um and so let's do this. We'll take that and that, and we'll put that. Let's see, where do we do this for now? We'll go back to the table. I think that maybe we should crack that first pecten, and we'll see if I should get the expensive equipment out of the way first. Move the microscope back. See, everything has to be very modular so that we've got room for all the activities. And so let's do this again, and we'll get everybody center staged out here. Whoa. Oh no. I just lost it from the stream. Okay, talk amongst yourselves, which you guys are doing a great job of, and we'll get that back on here real quick. This is going to take a second, and I did refashion the cockpit so that I could be talking into the microphone and being over in the microscope, the micro zone at the same time, because that was a little bit dodgy during trying to get the fish thing going when we were working on our fish fossil. And so let me get this all. I'll get back on the StreamYard with this. It'll just take a second. Y'all are very, very patient. Let's see, go back there. And we want a different camera. It's like the behind the scenes. There we go. It's totally not interesting, but still you get the behind the scenes. Mute the mic. I think that should work. Let's see if we can't bring us back on. Let's go. Okay. Enter studio. And we're back. Now don't touch anything. Nobody touch anything. Papa's Gems is here just in time to watch me deal with technical difficulties. And Bart is here. Good evening. Welcome into the chat. We are playing with fossils. We're going to open up a fossil shell, a giant pecten, the equivalent of the giant scallop shell that is from the Astoria Formation. So the scientists say that that would be in the middle Miocene, say like 15 million years old, give or take some millions going one way or the other. And why are they called pectens? That's a great question. I don't think I'm going to get a copyright strike if I share a little something here with you guys. It's called look at how I have this just right here, guys. So I should give credit where credit is due. This is a book that I love so much. If you are in the Oregon coast area, Ellen J. Moore, great book. And just going to show you that here's from the Astoria Formation, which is where all of the material comes from. And it says the patinopecten, and everybody kind of shortens the patinopecten to pecten just to make it a little bit easier to say. There's a couple different variety of them, and there's actually a couple from different ages. Oh, there's the turritella, guys. And so yeah, I'm not sure why it got called tortella if it's a misnomer, but alas it did. Maybe it's just that the genre is just holding on super tightly, like that they just want to it's called that, and even though it isn't, it is. So gear acquisition syndrome. It's called gas, says Manny. Thank you. It's so true. Yeah, and we just answered Jenny's question about why are they called pectins. It's not the kind of pectin that you'd get in apple, different kind. I don't recommend adding this kind of pectin to, say, your jam to make it stand up better. It would make it stand up, but kind of in a way that it might not be pleasurable. So I'm going to attempt to get this bad boy opened up. And we've got a question. One more question before I attempt. That's not an anvil, not a section of, that's an anvil, not a section of railroad. She totally didn't cut it from a working railway. I didn't. Maybe somebody else did. I came into that. I didn't acquire it myself. Does that make sense? Somebody gave it to me. And so over here, John, I must ask, and maybe must ask as well, because I probably missed it, but how on earth did you come across a cut off piece of railroad tie? Well, I just sort of covered that since these two comments are right in a row. Yeah, Steve, the fabulous, my husband, this was part of his dowry. He came with it. So I got super lucky. I'm like, whoa. I think I was looking for something to pound on. I've got that sounds wrong, but I was needing an anvil. We had a really super big one. And that went away. And so I was looking for something bigger than my little jewelry anvil. And he's like, I got the perfect thing for you. Actually, it was back when I was cracking rocks before I had a saw. So it definitely came in handy. Great question, John. And hopefully I mean, it's not as juicy of an answer as it could be. I could make up a story about me, going to a rail yard and taking a section, which would be so dangerous. I'm too paranoid for that. And Jetty says Turritella always sounds like an Italian dessert. Yes, I agree completely. Me too. Yeah, all you need is the acetylene torch, eh? Resort dog. Yep. Uh, we all have gas, Jeff. That gear acquisition situation, for sure. It came with our significant other bonus. Yeah, I'll tell you that Steve came with a wonderful dowry. I gotta say. Oh, I like that. Resort dog for the he comes back with IBS is even worse. Impulsive buying stones. Oh, don't we know it? And Kyle's lives are getting kicking again. He came back from having a whole week off last week with a live this afternoon that took me by surprise. I was getting ready for this, and he was doing an artisan day, and that looked like it was really great, although I came in for the end. And of course, all weekend. So I know where I'm going to see you guys all in the lives for the weekend. And piece of old narrow gauge rail, says Bob's Rocks. I guess, I don't know. It would be cool to have like the history on this. I am so into history that it would be really, really cool to know some of the deets on it, or have a section that I did have the deets on. Like, some old silver railway from, central or eastern Oregon would be really, really neat. And we're talking about not having too much wood. Wood. That's, I guess, when I get skinned Hoovian, right? Yeah. Steve the Fabulous. It's so true. Okay, so before I read any more, because like I could just like hang out in the chat the whole time and then we'd never see inside this here rock. So the way that this thing is supposed to go down, I'm going to talk you through the idea of it. Is that it's kind of out of the frame. I'm going to try to keep everything in the picture for you guys and not knock the camera. You start just knocking it gently all the way around. I can't really put the phone higher, and I don't want to disconnect us again also. And so those of you who have done fossil finding in like the fossil, when they line up like books, kind of like in Kemmerer, know that you're just supposed to work around the fossil. And in theory, it's because the fossil itself makes it weaker in the area that the fossil is in. Like that's supposed to be the weakest part of the whole shebang, right? And so if you just keep on going around, it'll find that weak point and let go. I probably should have drama music going on right now instead of necessarily trying to narrate, because this is probably maybe a little loud and annoying. Not sure. And And we do have material kind of going all over the place, which is going to be super fun for me. I just noticed that somebody's got a lag. So hopefully this is a great time for you to refresh your browsers. Although that would kind of be a bummer if you refreshed and that was like when it broke. So maybe not. I'm gonna I think I'm gonna turn the thing on its side so that it cups it. So one of the things that I like about this thing is that it's very multifunctional. And so you can see I'm taking my time. And where are my safety squints? I know, huh? I really should be wearing them. All right, 1 second. I can't mislead all the children of the internet without having the safety goggles on. But I have a couple of safety goggles that roam the studio at all times. So they're never farther than, arm's reach away. I'm worried that it's going to break on that crack. Now, Kent would have already had this thing cracked open. Kent Gibson is like the fossil guru for the coast here. And he literally will just break one of these bad boys on the beach in front of you. Oh, look, I hit the camera. How exciting. So that you too can feel like you're part of the action. So try not to do that. Don't need to take out my phone. See, I've got a bunch of chipping going on. You don't want that. That's how not to do it. But that's why I wanted to try on this little guy first. And then maybe save the big guy for when I've really figured out how to cleave these things perfectly, because that is a total specimen. I mean, that would be in one of the proud places in my collection. It's a good. It's so big. So yes, that's what she said. Oh my gosh. I'm just making it like a spectacular mess. It'll come, right, guys? We're just gonna take like 15 minutes. Usually this is really only supposed to take a couple of minutes. They just like crack right away. But then you got to think like the ones that are still on the beach that aren't broken yet, they've got to be pretty sturdy, because boy, did they ever get ripped around on the beach. Kind of like could be singing to the hammer beats here. And there goes another one shooting across, like I'm just not wanting to hit the expensive microscope, of course. Karen, is this the best thing to be doing in your studio? Are you sure? Sure, I'm sure. And this is one of those things, like you guys probably remember I opened up the Kemmerer fossil and just shared with you the video so that I could speed it up. Maybe that would have been the thing, but I thought like, oh, it's kind of, whoa. It's kind of like the Geraldo Rivera, like when he opened up the tomb of the gangster, like the gazillion years ago that was. Yeah, I was just feeling like, wow, this is going to be one of those epic historical moments. And it's just not yet. And it's like, it's breaking everywhere but where it's supposed to break. And I have broken these before, but I haven't broken one this big. And the ones that I broke before, like literally like fell apart within a minute. And this is like trying really hard to make me feel bad. This might be something that I share with you guys on the Discord afterwards. This is ridiculous. I like feel like I'll keep on hammering around it until it gets like smaller and smaller. And you're not supposed to use like a bar or anything like you do with the camera ones, like you use something to insert in. Like these are supposed to just come apart. You're just supposed to have like the magic of hitting it right. So I'm going to take like maybe 30 more seconds and I'll get a little bit more aggressive, and if it doesn't break, then oh, there's that's trying to break. I was going to say if it doesn't break, then that little bit is trying to break. Well, there's our shell. And it's very, very pretty nacre, but that side of it has broken from itself, and that's not what you want. Although, the other side will be very nice if I can get that not to break. And so, like I said, I'll try for a little bit longer. Boy, the nacre is just fantastic on these. It's so pretty. And the nacre is that the thing that makes a pearl luster, have the luster. And so it's that, mother of pearl looking stuff. There's that's showing on that side too. That's really pretty. Okay, just a little bit longer. You guys can watch me either, this is like really sticky and I feel like it might be getting destroyed. There's that, the nice shell there, and what just fell off. Woo. And yet that's the only way to extract it is by pounding it out, because I could hear maybe some people out there going like, well, stop. But that's the only way that it comes off, really, unless I wanted to get in there with an air scribe and try to take it off. I guess that's the really hard way. There, that's happening. Yeah, this is not wanting to be very clean. That's actually right in there. There at the top, that little cone thing is a shell, another shell. But I'm thinking that might be a little dodgy to continue right now. I might have to consider a different strategy. I think that this side might be better than this side. And you can see, it's two clasped shells together. What are we voting for in the chat? Do we want me to keep on going, or this could go for a long time? Smash. They're like twice the price of what they were 4 years ago. I wonder what that is. And burpee, not sure. But I like to really swing hard into the ground. I wonder what that is. Maybe I need a bigger sledgehammer and hit it really hard once or twice to crack. Nobody was saying stop. Okay. We were all urging you to hit it harder. Got it. Yeah, I know. I'm probably just being too careful. Smack it on the crack. I know, right? I pulled a railroad spike out of a railroad tie that we used to make garden grow boxes. Railroad not included. Yeah, right? Hit it. Okay. They say whip it. Whip it good. All right. I'll keep going. But if we're here at midnight and I'm still doing this, I might call it quits then. Whoa. Did you see that? It went patoo. Shaklack. Some more nacre. Some more of the fossil just falling apart. Yeah, this one might not be a very nice crack, and we'll all learn something from it and move on. Oh, that's nice. Hello, you're pretty. Aw. See, that's what you want the whole thing to do, just open up and do that. So maybe we're close, but it's going to be in pieces. At least this piece will be bigger. There goes some of the nacre though. Bye. Yeah. I always figure, okay, well, it was going to turn to sand anyway if I left it on the beach. So no harm, no foul, right? Come on, you want to break. Wow. That's a tough shell, guys. Miocene era made some pretty tough shells. Gonna have to do a really good job of dusting my microscope off after this too. Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, I'm gonna probably have to use the big sledgehammer. I got a couple really heavy duty sledges, and I think that I'm glad at least I did this to this one. But I think a couple cracks with the big sledgehammer is gonna be the ticket. It just needs something really big. Yeah. What do you think? What do you guys think? Yeah, they're all saying whip it. Talking about their favorite hammers. I know, right? This is the kind of group that has favorite hammers for sure. Here, I can hold this up in an interesting way while I read you guys' comments. Um, so something that's interesting about the pectens is that you can tell what species it is by the number of those ridges. And you can tell if it's I think the male or the female also. How cool is that? And so if we had something that was a little bit more complete, then we would know things. Although, yeah, no, actually, this one's probably going to be incomplete enough. That other one, though, I think would do it. Amanda is asking, would it break better if it was wet? Not typically, although, I'm not going to like profess to be I'm obviously not a professional pectin extractor, or else I'd be doing better. But with most of the fossil prepping, it wants to be dry. It becomes just stickier. If you could imagine like concrete, you want it to be dry and crack as opposed to wet and maybe feel like it wants to hold together. All right. I'm willing to smack it on the flat size, says Allison, once or twice to see if that works. Hammer, says Rocky. Or a geode cracker. I think that might like crush this. I don't think it's quite the right kind of consistency, especially on the edges. Bigger is not always better, says John. I would have to agree with that. More chances for breaking the object up. That's true. More control. That's kind of what I was hoping for, John. Yeah, I think that our brains are thinking alike as far as that's concerned. And yeah, this nacre is just fabulous. I mean, actually, it's underwhelming given what my phone camera is doing for you guys. It's pearly, and so I don't know if I completed that thought, but yeah, nacre is just the word for mother of pearl, from the shells from pearls. It's that beautiful luminous stuff, and dig deep, unleash your inner Viking hammer. What is that? Rafterak. What is that? The word is eluding my brain right now, which is interesting. Like Thor's hammers. Put it in the description or put it in the chat. What am I thinking? Read my mind. What's the hammer name? All right, so let's do, because that's what Allison thought would work, and it did. There's that. So maybe just a couple of love taps to the front and the back. I liked how that one little piece cleaved off. I loved how Allison got to be right on that one. Um, okay. It's just making me nervous. How about this side? Let's how about the other side do that? I think I'm being a little too gentle, and then I just don't want the whole thing to fall like apart in half because that would be sad. And you see how that's just crushing it down sorta. There's some more aggression. She's not being dominant, she's being aggressive. All right. Oh, there we go. There's that. Yeah, Ragnarok, right? Oh, it's Viking Armageddon. Darn. Okay, so oh yeah, um, it's Malnir. That's the hammer. Ragnarok. I love that word. But yeah, yeah, the Armageddon. All right. Um, my dad uses those terms all the time. You know, being from his mom and his my grandparents, very very into the all king and all the mythology. Here we go. Swoop. Okay, that was painful, you guys. But we we have a break. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. And that taught me a lot about how to go about the other one or how not to go about the other one. But there's that. There is that. That's like I'm still super excited. That's really pretty, even though it didn't cleave like super nice, and that side still could cleave really really nice. This was just particularly sticky. Um, all right, and so let us. I should hold this, and it's funny. My phone's all dusty now with fossil dust, and so I'm imagining so too is probably my um, microscope. But I love cleaning my microscope and tools and things. Isn't that pretty, you guys? Even though it did fall apart a bit, that's pretty exciting. You can see that crack must have been there for a really long time because it's going through all of that matrix material that there on the right hand side. You can see the crack being very prominent. Aggression. Ken says it's come to the ozone and get hammered night. Yeah, I mean, what kind of party is this, man? If you have to break a rock, you are carrying 6-foot breaking bar anyway. Yeah, resort dog, you know, like speak softly and carry a very big breaking bar. And yep, we are still there on the Taurus hammer. Hammer down. Little just needed a little tap tap taparoo. Uh-huh. Yippee, now grab the other one. Sandmaker. Well, I knew that he was like a cutting fanatic, but I guess he is a hammering fanatic as well. Yeah, and shell dust is poisonous. This is totally true. So I do have a bit of it ambient. I'm not too worried about it. It's not like I don't create the same amount that got into the air as say, you know, cutting it on a saw or something. But it would probably be good to wear, you know, all you kids out there, wear your goggles and your respirator when doing things like this. Very pretty, says Allison. And yeah, Sean says that's cool, worth the whacking for sure. Tomcat Josh is back in the house, and Twister and he are still here and listening, and I hope you guys are having a very safe time out there fireside way out east so that you guys can see the eclipse. And yeah, Sandmaker says he's an open it up fanatic. And so like Allison, I think that you should get the other half of this piece open. And so I'll just send you this and you can have what this shrapnel is representing right now, and then maybe you can open up the other half of it. But I think that that you need the beach score and some bones also. So we can move to the bones and see what else we can provide. Um and the rules for the bones on our shores here in Oregon is that um I mean, I hate to be giving you a broken rock, Allison, but I do want to get you a pecten, and that is a pretty big pecten, and you have the opportunity to have a pretty darn great specimen, not only on the side that we whacked open, you helped, but also the other side could be absolutely clean, and so that would be as good as any of the big pecten uh, ones that I have so far. And then, yeah, now I'm super nervous about this one. Oh, John, thank you. Thank you for congrats on the hammer time being successful. Yeah. Oh man, what's like this is the kind of a best friend rock if you can get it to cleave perfectly half and half, and unfortunately this one has lots and lots of friends, but I think that Allison might be able to figure out the magic touch to get this open. I really appreciate your support and the enthusiasm, John, and all y'all, like for helping me find the extra power I needed to break that open. And I really didn't expect it to fall apart in so many pieces. And so yeah, thanks for the suggestion on the eye goggles as well. Those are not the kind of fossil goggles I want though. The safety, keen safety glasses, wherever those went, I might need them again. All right. So the fossils here in Oregon, I'm allowed to take ones that I find as an Oregonian as mementos. If it's anything that is scientifically significant, and they kind of list off what those things are, then I do need to report it and report the place in which, like the exact place that I found it. And sometimes they might want it, but as far as like the shells and all that kind of stuff, it's listed as the stuff like take it as a memento. That's absolutely fine. And then of course we have a limit to 3 gallons of that kind of material that we can take each year. And that's why a lot of times you'll go like, why didn't you take that? Well, I'm just not taking too much. I'm trying to, keep it in what's supposed to be. I could overtake for sure. The safe rule is if it had a backbone, it belongs to the government, and that's great advice. Resort dog here, like you see me take the verts. Those are things that are so common, but then for my specific area, I did all the research, and I've talked to the scientists, and I've talked to the collectors and the folks over at NARG and the folks over at OSU, and have figured out the perimeter of what it is that I'm okay to take. And then of course, if I found something that was beautifully articulated, that had diagnostic features, and there was a lot of it, then as such, Kent came across an entire ancient, I believe, sea lion, a pinniped that was encased in a boulder. And of course, that was reported, and they were like, "Yeah, great, get it off of the beach, and maybe you could prep it, or we'll send it off to another college." And I believe it got sent off to a college back east for them to go ahead and prep it and have the excitement of uncovering this ancient pinniped from the Oregon coast. And so, yeah, there's definitely that. Allison saying, "I will give you back a different broken rock." Well, That's perfect. That is definitely how our community rolls, right? Just the rocks roll. No moss gathers on the rocks around here, and we might break them, but we're totally into sharing. That makes for double the sharing or something like that. Oh, Alleluia, welcome in. Good to see you. I think that Alleluia was having a live a bit earlier. Definitely go check out those lives. I'm sorry, I was prepping for the live stream here and getting my video uploaded. So unfortunately, I didn't have a chance to drop in and have a look. But Alleluia's lives are always a bunch of fun. Allison had a totally rockingly fun live earlier this week for Wednesday. Josh's Journeys has been doing some amazing live streams. That's been a really, really good time on the journey. Like Josh is actually taking us on the journeys, which is fantastic. And Nick over there at City Rock Hounding, I know that I said it earlier in the chat, but congratulations on getting your 1,000 subscribers. That's very exciting. And if you have lives that are going on this weekend, of course, Kyle does, but go ahead and drop it in the chat so that people know where they can go, because it's always fun to kind of play the field around while you're spending your Saturday and Sunday getting whatever it is that you are doing done, like your studio work. It's great to have some place to go and hang out with the rock community. So definitely share that. And what we'll do now, I think I did mention this guy, and so let's get this back on here. And can do that. That was awesome. Thank you so much, John. Again, we'll switch this over here. And I did tell you guys that I got into this and it had this, and I was like, oh my gosh, is that a claw? You guys, did I get my first crab that I can really, really say is a crab? I was just so excited. And, after taking that much rock away that you can see the, kind of ridge line around there, that like has a weird termination. Like that is the edge. It seems like I'll definitely delve a little bit more into this, but I went in instead of with the acid, which I said in the video, I went in with the engraving tool because I was afraid if it is a crab, as you guys probably know from Morning Man Lambo's videos, that you don't want to use the acid on that. And so I was like, oh wait, no, that's maybe going to be a bad thing if I put it in the acid and the whole thing dissolves the way I would be feeling pretty bad. Oh yep, it was a crab because it's gone. And it's gone. So I got this far and I just did. I know it's organic, but I wasn't sure. I'm just not sure. I don't know what to do other than go further when I get the air scribe, I think. And so we can check out, especially this little nub here at the end. You can see it's actually permineralized with some agate. So it's really quite nice. And like I said, it was just looking so much like a claw that I was feeling lucky. And we'll put it underneath the microscope and you guys can weigh in because it's hard to tell right now. But yeah, I'm just not sure. So Alleluia had a silversmithing episode going on. Yeah, very, very cool, John. And I'm glad that you were checking that out. And Alleluia is saying yes, totally understand about like spinning plates, right? Trying to get things rolling for channel and all the work that you have done. Sometimes it's hard to even just get a live going because you're trying to work. So anyways, let's go ahead and throw this underneath the microscope. So I'm going to let's do this. Minimize that and we'll pull the microscope back up and see if we can't juggle these things in this like lovely dusty arena that we have now. Oh, It's funny. I have these stepbrothers moments where, why did you let us do it? You know, we're gonna have so much room for activities. I'm like, why? Why did you let me do this? So I'm my own bad influence though, all of the time. Like, oh, it'll be fine. I liked how Allison was telling us a story about her kid moving the trampoline, and I was like, oh yeah, it's only work when somebody else tells you to do it, but you'll do like insane things like if it's your idea. And then you're like, well, why did somebody let me do that? um and so let's get rid of our Jasper. And I think Ken needs that. And I know I told him that he was going to get another beach Jasper. So I'll just toss it. I feel a little like Kyle because I have people's boxes. Like, oh, there's an Allison box and a Lisa box and uh, a Ken box and a John box and a Jeff box and a Brian box. And if I didn't mention your name, I'm sure you have a box too. And if you don't have a box, I better get one going for you. But yeah, it's always so cool. People are so generous sharing, and then when you get to have experiences with rocks that you don't have access to, it's just super cool. So I thank you all for all of the great trading that everybody does. Yeah, Chris has a box. Everybody's got a box. Rocky, I've got some beads for you, and so therefore, of course, other things have to go in there because I want to rationalize, paying the post on it. So, like, okay, well, other stuff has to go in the box. The Catalina wine mixer. Ooh, did what noise did he just make? Yeah, I like they have those T-shirts for um uh, I think for like a online marathon or something that you do, and like I want one. I need the Catalina wine mixer uh shirt. And so um Hallelujah is saying, the fact that your background looks like a used shop but is visually appealing is so impressive. Thank you. It is craziness back there. But yeah, it is always in use. If you kind of peruse some of the stuff that's behind the ponytail, you'll see the stuff that you use in your own shop for sure. And I'm always trying to rationalize adding to it. Actually, this other side, wait, I don't have it on the flip screen. This stuff over here is going to get refashioned that over by the copy machine. That's not the best use of space, and so yeah, it'll look ever better back there. And I think I've got some things that are coming my way that will look significantly more worklier. Boxes for everybody. Kyle's like Oprah. Check underneath your box, and Brian gets a box, and Kyle gets a box. Ken gets a box, and John gets a box. I'm gonna hydrate. Okay, and then we're going over here to um this is the okay, so I was saying that it looks symmetrical, and that is so organic. And so at the very least, we have coprolite material, like, 110% unquestionably. Let's pan out a little bit so that you guys know where we're at. Um Unquestionably very, very organic. But could it be poo? I mean, can you guys see the very black or very, very dark uh little bits? Actually, this is the first time that I've seen it underneath the microscope too. I was using the jeweler's loop before. I'm going to try to put it in the center of the box, on the exposure box. There is like kind of like a circular form that is dark. Okay. So that's either some really, really nice stuff that survived the poo experience, or that's actually part of whatever critter this is, and it's in place. So, that makes me cross my fingers that I would again, do we have like little bits of the crab here? The inner workings of the crab, not sure. Um, let's see. It looked like, oh, Yanni. Did I say that right? Hola. um, oh, from Argentina. That's so cool. Thank you. Gracias for joining us. My Spanish is just terrible. That's about as far as it goes. Brian, I think it goes hose, like garden hose, uh, and boats. Oh, and here we go. Like I don't have the translator on my platform, so I'm not entirely sure, but it seems like enthusiasm and and something maybe emotion. Oh, that's exciting. Thank you so much for coming by and like what is it? Lo siento for like not or not having better or more Spanish. My bad. I'm gonna have to bone up on my Spanish for the next live, eh? Um, so what's really intriguing is that entire outer ring is darker, almost like there's a carapace. Exactly, Ken. So yeah, let's toss this up here. That was getting worn away. I have seen like I've said it before, you guys, if you go to your fossil fest, or if you go, if you're looking for different kinds of minerals, go see them. Go see them at the gem shows, or go see them at the fossil shows, or in the museums, or wherever it is that you can lay your eyes on them, because then you start getting familiarized. I've seen people's fossils that they've prepped that like has a bald spot of where their fossil wore down and it was exposed and it looks like this. And so that's what really, really gave me some, a bit of excitement, especially since it wasn't just this little bald spot, that there was also, potentially that claw coming out. So I don't know. Keeping it clean, says Brian. I appreciate that. Good job. And oh, love people with a lot of excitement and enthusiasm is the translation. And I thank you for that. Gracias. Yes, we have so much enthusiasm up here in the house. And I know, amiga, that's friends, right? And yes, thank you, Randy, for the translation. Much appreciated. And so let's move around a little bit. We've got little bits like that all through, which also, like, here's some that got a little tore up. And so is this coprolite, or is this just the fact that the innards of this little guy ended up falling apart as the fossilization process happened. And this kind of material here definitely reminds me of fish material. Like, how much of this would be in a piece of coprolite and undigested? I don't know. I haven't seen this much, and so, but I can't say. I do like to look at the coprolites, but I can't say that I've laid my eyes on a gazillion bunch of them as much as I would like to. Raise your hand if you want to see more poo. And so we're going to travel through some pretty neat zone of the matrix material. There's quite a bit going on, like that there was like perhaps a death plate going on. And we do have this really cool configuration here that seems to be very much like I guess we could have gone closer back over there too, which we could return. But this looks very much like we've got some forams, some foraminifera going on. And whoops, wrong way. Here we go. Little bouncing. Hopefully I'm not making you all sick. Sorry. So really, really nicely preserved there. We're kind of getting a cross section, obviously, of what these guys looked like, but very, very nice forums. And so we can pan back out. That was those guys. I loved seeing that. And they're fairly big. Like those are I don't know, like a millimeter or so, which is just ginormous for forums. A lot of times, you want like 100x to see them well. And so those are just massive, massive forums, which is actually what Morny finds a lot. Okay, so here's our nub, guys. Check that out. And at first I was like, am I disappointed because perhaps it's wood sticking out of here because that like left hand side looks a little like charred wood, but then it's got like a really interesting bony sinuousness up here that doesn't feel like wood. But like I said, I haven't seen it under the microscope yet. So we're all experiencing this at the same time for the first time ever. Um, First time that this guy has been seen under magnification for millions of years. Because I actually uncovered this part when I was digging around. This is what I hit with the engraver. Like it took me an hour just to get some of this uncovered. And isn't that interesting? Definitely organic. It doesn't feel wood like to me. I'm not seeing the right cellular structure for wood. So weigh in, guys. What sinuousness are we looking at there? So interesting. Look at the row of circles on the top too. Um, and so we can go back to the row of circles on the top. I'm sorry, I kind of missed that while we were in the region, I think, Ken. Um, Settling out by weight in the poo like gold in the muddy river. Yeah, yeah, very possible. Yes, very interesting. Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much where I'm at with it. It was everything that I could do not to get it underneath the microscope when I was working with the engraver, but I was like, just save it for the live. You're going to be spending the time under the microscope for that. Get something else done. So yeah, look at that. So really, really nice agatization or silicification. And then these beautiful long cordy bits of, what kind of looks like fish bone. You've seen me talk about like the sort of filigree nature of the fish bone, but that doesn't look at all like the sinews of wood unless it was like palm. um, that would be the only one of the wood family that I would say feels anywhere near that. And so let's go over here because we haven't really had a chance to look at this nub. Is it a claw nub? I mean, that does not look like a wood at all. That looks like that looks like some kind of collection of cells in an organic way, but not of like a xylem. So how weird is it? What is it? Just left it on the screen now, um on the top of this darker exposed area. Okay, so you want to go, I think you want to go up here. Am I right, Ken? And I'll try to keep us in focus. It's just so neat. This whole thing is really neat. I like mysteries a lot. So, am I going the right way? Top of this area, like up here in the matrix material or on the fossil itself? I'm asking Ken. And if anybody else has a a place where they'd like to go on this rock, I would be happy to show off wherever. Are you talking about like the little collection of stuff that we have right there? Were those tiny sea creature legs, maybe? Not on the fossil, the top edge. Okay. So I think we're at the top edge. And there's some like another way to tell the difference between like a xylem and a organic piece of crab, fish, mammal bone is that it's really shiny. Like they can be glassy. And look at the shine that we have in the middle of that exposure button right now. Or to the left hand kind of bottom. It's like repeating structure. Do you mean that right there to the right of the green exposure area, Ken? Is that what you were talking about right there in the middle? Hard to give directions with an 8-second lag. I know, right? Like, come over here and just put the microscope where you want it. It's definitely hard to drive with a lag. No, the fossil area itself, dark area, way off screen now. Okay, going back over here then. And here we are at the fossil area, at the top of the fossil. Is that the top? I'll try to get that back into view. And then we'll kind of go from there. But oh man, what are we looking at? Hey, it's beautiful. You just keep going. It's all good. Okay. Left, but it's okay. Moving on. Oh, there's like a kind of sinuous, like I think that it continues over here, if that's what he was talking about. Like I think that there's more there. You can see it kind of just like it drifts off into the matrix. And so I'm thinking that there could be more. Um, I just didn't get that far. Like I said, it took so long just to do what I did. And so we're going to find out what this is. It just might take a little time. There's some really neat config there. Hair on a bit of skin. You know, your guess is as good as mine. It could be a hairy crab. You guys are both feeling the hair thing, right? Yeah, like I don't think I'm hoping that it doesn't terminate right there. Like that goes back and we get to kind of find out what's back there. Yeah, I just need to get all of the monies together to drop on the air scribe, which is very, very close. We're on the budget-ometer, it's about there. So we will be into scribing, which is going to be super fun. Some of it is similar to Mam Lambo's stuff, but enough of it is different that I think that you guys will get a kick out of it, and it won't be too much retread as far as some of the stuff that he treats us to. So there's back to our forums and a little bit farther out version of what was sticking out there so that you can kind of get a feeling as to what that looks like all at the same time. And that is how it looks relative, hard to draw any conclusions by the way that it permineralized. Although a lot of times, obviously, if there's a void, that's where the agate will, make a casting. So could that have been like the crab's, not part of the claw? Are we looking at the termination of the claw, and then this is the open part of the claw, and then maybe that's part of like what the claw is up higher? I don't know. I haven't prepped enough claws, sadly, but we're gonna get a chance. And then again, this is what this looks like out. And let's just choose that bit of bone right there that is sticking out, or the organic matter, and we'll just get tight on into that. It looks like a petroglyph. Isn't that neat? What's that, guys? Looks like a patapon holding, uh, it's oops, wrong way. Um, it's sword or whatever, a shield. Okay, let's get closer. We'll go all the way in. I mean, that's perfectly symmetrical. How rad is that? What's that? Good night, Ken. Thank you for being here. Sea louse, baby mud lobster. Totally could be. So very possibly. Um, yeah, so it's compelling whatever that is. That's pretty darn neat. And so this carapace or piece of coprolite or whatever it is pretty riddled with that kind of material. Um, you can see the bits all through it that have that, and then there's white bits too, but there's repeating circles. We'll close up on this little bone cluster here really quick, or whatever it is, matter cluster, and then we can move on. But yeah, let's get into that. um this is the type of thing that I'm doing all night, guys. So thanks for coming along and keeping company, because I'd be playing this game all by my onesie if you guys weren't here. So let's move this over. Like, doesn't that look like a little bone? What a cute little thing that is. How interesting. Oh, what are we looking at there? The structure of some kind. Let's get closer. An amoeba doing jumping jacks. Right? I mean, it looked like it was dancing. It had to have been doing something athletic. Brittle star, possibly. Oh, how interesting, Cynthia. Yeah, like a really little. And Diane, horseshoe crab egg. Wow. A T-bone steak going bowling. Interesting. A little less marine, but I like it. I like it. But yeah, boy, I love horseshoe crab egg or brittle star. Oh man, can you imagine finding a horseshoe crab, you guys? That would be such a neat find. So yeah, we'll keep on looking, and maybe one of these days we're all going to stumble upon it, and we'll be here. We'll be here discovering it together, which would be so cool. All right, I think is that as close as we can. No, we can get closer. Let's have the closest look. It's interesting. There seems to be something sectional up there at the upper left hand corner there. Um, Almost like a little parasitic sectioned guy. I'll get over to that in a second, but boy, if that doesn't look like, a little bone pile, I don't know what does. And I like how they're permineralized too. Like, that's pretty fancy. And now in the green circle is what I was talking about. Let me scooch over. Um that little guy is interesting. And I guess what we should do really quick before we take this out is I can UV this, and we'll see what all of this material is doing under the UV light. Steinkerns, everyone. Wasn't that weird? Did you guys notice something about the video? There wasn't a one single Steinkern that I picked up. That is how weird the beach is that sometimes here you are getting bone after bone after bone, and zero Steinkerns. I was like, can't a girl have a drink here? And so that was really interesting. Grabbing the UV light and shutting off. Oh, I've got my main light on though. I'm gonna kill the big light. Hold on just a second, everyone. Okay. All right. That needed to happen. We need the proper theater arrangement here. Okay. And gotta turn that light off. And here we go. I knew that would be decent. Okay, so what we need to do. Oh, I forgot the. We need tape, right? Remember that? I actually figured out how to steady the light with a little tape jig, but I don't know. We probably won't do enough UV tonight to warrant that. But I do want to get this. I guess the exposure is okay, but we have some superstars up in here. Let me get that better focus for you. So that was that's the bone cluster. I'll bring it back into the into sight here. Look at that. That is interesting. So it's like the inside of the bone is green. How weird is that? Well, that's really cool. What's going on there even? I was expecting orange, but I guess it could have permineralized with, agate or some such thing. I mean, the on this side, that really really bright white is kind of more towards orange. And so let's see what we've got here. It was a bony day, says Chris. Totally. And Rocky Mountain Bear says, tiny little razor clam thingy reaching out to his buddy with his elephant trunk looking appendage. Absolutely. This is exactly what it is. Yeah, totally neat. That's almost like a script pattern. So let's move a little bit. There's more going on here. And so I'll move us and then it'll get there we go. And so a lot of different, stuff going on, which does make me lean a little bit more towards like, cobra-like. Because I mean, look at all the little, ooh, wow, wait, come back. That's really interesting. Like those little patterns right in the middle of the square. I know the square might throw you off a little bit, but at least we've got a reference where I can center something. Guess I could center it anyway. Let's move over a little bit and see what's over here. Galaxy. There's some really, really glowy bits that down here a little bit more. See if I can't get those in. There we go. What's that? Let's see if I can't get that into a better focus. There we go. What is it? I mean, I think that we're looking at like, maybe a mashup of this organism's being. I mean, there's a lot of different stuff going on in that material. If you look at just like the background and how many different colors are going on, and this isn't even like, like we could get a little bit more accuracy than that. That's pretty interesting. Flying squirrel. Is it slightly phosphorescent or is the exposure lagging? It could be. I think that's just the exposure and ambient light, possibly. I've got the open light is on still behind me, and then there's the computer light in front of me, and those are the lights that are present. So we're getting a pretty decent exposure since the microscope requires so much light that this is kind of, you definitely get a better light show because just the microscope needs so much light. And so we don't have to try very hard to, get this to being interesting. But yeah, I think that that was just like the lag, not it being actually phosphorescent, but I'll probably end up playing with that, Chris, and seeing and controlling the experiment better. Anyways, this is pretty darn neat. And then actually our guys that were the little forums. I don't know if can we get all the way down to those guys real quick. Those guys are just going up a storm. Yeah, look at how cool these guys are. So there's some nice stuff going on with the forums. Yeah, that almost does look like there's like some fluorescing going on or phosphorescing. Very cool. Way neat. And so yeah, anyways, that's our crab. If it is a crab, if you if you wish to be a crab, we would love for you to be a crab, maybe. The maybe. um Could be bits of crab's last meal. Yeah, they're messy eaters. Great point, Rocky Mountain Bear. I have the tendency to agree with you as far as it's really hard to guess, and there's just really interesting things that could happen over the course of time. Even just with like how quickly did that body degrade? Maybe the fact that it in the time that it degraded, you got some interesting mashup going. And so I don't know, that one's a goodie. And there were some really other very very interesting finds on the beach. And I totally, totally appreciate you guys coming along for the thumping on the the pecten, and I'm glad that we at least got part of it revealed for you guys to see and for Allison, and then also being able to look at this and that incredible Jasper, and the fact that I even get to say incredible Jasper is kind of a mind blow. Feeling the way that I do about Jaspers and everything. I'll be going over the rest of the fun that's in here. Actually, there's a another little guy. Um, let's see if I can pull him out really easily. Then we'll have a look at him really quick. But yeah, here he is. Okay, so check this out. You guys were talking about some of the different things like a crayfish, not the typical config of a regular crab, like maybe a horseshoe crab or some of the other things that you might be able to find. Well, this little guy that we found during the video, has that vibe to it. And I do have another similar fossil. I'll probably do like a short on them, and I can share over on the Discord too. That it does remind me of what I was told my other fossil is probably like a little shrimp or a crayfish. And this one has that same kind of vibe, a little sectional guy. And it's going to take doing some prepping. And I'm not sure if, again, because it's more of a carapace type animal as opposed to a bony animal, the acid probably isn't going to be the way to go. It probably has to get scribed. And so we'll be doing that together. But I was pretty excited about that one. There's some other ones to delve into. We could probably be going all night, but I'll bet you anything that everybody needs to have some Steinkerns and hang out and chill the jets and all the good things that happen on a Friday night with you and yours. And so the quick recap, we've got live streams going on all weekend long. Of course, there's Kyle's live streams for the sales that'll be over the weekend. I'm betting that Josh, Tomcat Josh, will be live from the eclipse for the weekend for his travels. That has been super fun to play along with, and I actually, just given how much gets done, I could end up doing another on Sunday after Kyle if he ends early. I don't know how like 3 days is gonna wear on him, but he's gonna do Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So if something's going on Sunday evening, I have way more prepping to do to get ready for the video to release for the Kemmerer fossils. And so you guys might all want to come along for that. And I'm sure that there's going to be plenty of pop-ups. I'll bet you Rufo's got some stuff for us, like at least video. I know that Travis had a video for us to watch. He shared some incredible agates over on the Discord. If you're not part of the Discord and you want to come and play all week long, share what you've got, then definitely join our Discord. If one of the mods might want to put a link up for the Discord, that would be super awesome. Another video that if you've got time on the weekend and you're looking for something to watch, Patrick of Donahue Labs did release his cut that he did on a YAG that he designed. So he shows you in the video him designing the actual cut design for the faceted stone. And then he goes through the entire process of cutting the stone, and you get to see, of course, the gratification of at the end is the beautiful stone that he created. And I mean, making your own stone design, how cool is that? He did it in GemCAD, which is also so cool. So if you're interested in that, or faceting, or just want to see something really pretty, or of course you know that Patrick, he's got a great voiceover voice, and so it's a calming and relaxing thing just to throw on the video. Go check that one out. There's a lot of good videos out there to catch up on from everyone, including Rufo, a longer version of the gem show and stuff like that. And so definitely go check it out. Brian says that he's still in the Discord hallway wandering around. Oh no. I hope that that you find your way into some of the channels there, Brian. It's a good time. And Kyle is chiming in right now that he's noonish to 6ish. I know, shorter than usual, but it makes total sense, Kyle. I mean, I know that some people wonder, like, is he a human? But we all know that he is a wizard. And so therefore, like the time span, like, gotta work it around, both being human and also being a wizard. So at that, I wish to you and yours the greatest of weekends. Thank you so much for joining me for the premiere and for coming on here live and being just like the best group of folks to hang out with on a Friday night ever. And so thank you, Allison, for hitting that World of Rockhounds link. And it looks like I have the Donahue Lab links as well. I can't see when talking becomes difficult. It's time to go ahead and stick your feet up and maybe continue to look at your rocks. You might want to be playing with your rocks, but cheers. Thanks again. And I will catch you guys all around in the community, at the Laz, and in the chats. Take care. Rock on. Thanks again. And I will see you next time.